Talking musicians, rappers Meek Mill and Tion Wayne have both worn clothing designed by my next guest. In fact, Popcan is also a huge fan. Reading designer Cherise Trimingham is gearing up for a fashion show and she's inviting you to join her as well. More details on the way, but first she's been explaining how she got started.
The first piece of clothing that I made myself, I remember, was a circle skirt. And luckily for me, it was probably the easiest thing that you could potentially make. My dad bought me a sewing machine and my mum took me to a fabric store to buy some fabrics. And literally I remember it was like this black and white printed material. And I think at the time I must have just searched how to make a circle skirt. And it's basically just like folding fabric over and over and then cutting a corner. And then that's how you get the drape. So yeah, the very first piece I made was a circle skirt. After that, I think I tried to be a bit more adventurous and make a pair of shorts. That was it. I tried to make a pair of shorts, and I remember like that was like the hardest ever thing, because obviously where I'm self-taught, it's kind of like me trying to read this pattern that's got tons of like in my mind it was kind of like gibberish. So it's kind of like loads of gibberish on this pattern, like it's not making sense what is like a notch at the time and things like that. So me trying to make that pair of shorts, I think I just called it a day, because I was like, this is way too hard. Now like it's nice to like see the process now, because me making a pair of shorts now is like so easy, but at the time it was so confusing.
I want you to describe the boss-like feeling of walking into school in your own outfit. So what's the one during those school days that got people talking?
So I would say I started wearing my own clothes at university days. So I remember it was this one piece. It was like a velvet tracksuit, but the velvet was like, it's velour, but it was like a light green, kind of lime green colour, which is interesting because that colour I'm using in my new collection this year as well. But that piece there, everyone was like, no way did you make this? This looks so amazing. You need to do something with this. And then from the back of that, I got about 5 sales on that tracksuit at the time. And that's kind of what helped me like develop the brand. But it was actually called Threads by Cherise. So then I started specialising in making velvet tracksuits and velvet pieces. So yeah, I remember it was that one piece there that everybody was like, wow, this looks amazing.
So you're making stuff yourself at a very young age. It's mainly the women's wear. So when did the jump happen into the menswear for you?
Yeah, so I would say when I started studying, because before that, I was studying at Central St Martin's and I was doing fashion and textiles. So when I transitioned to move to London College of Fashion, I specialised in sportswear. And that's when I transitioned into doing menswear, because for me, I felt as if men are kind of expanding out of the box now. They're getting a bit creative with what they're wearing. And I just felt like there was a lot more opportunities to be a bit more creative.
I think you're right, because people won't blink an eyelid now if a man is in full pattern, if he's in flares, if he's in a skirt even.
Exactly.
You know, if you've got the confidence to put it off, you can wear what you want.
Definitely wear whatever you want these days, and I think that's what I like about menswear. I just feel like there's a lot more that you can do with it.
You've mentioned your training and doing Central St Martin's, London College of Fashion, and there's a story actually to how you got in to doing the kind of advanced training. So tell me more. Okay,
so it was sixth form summer holidays. So I think I must have been in like year 13, just going into year 13. And I saw a summer school in London, and basically the applications were closed, but I was reading the details of the summer school, and it basically said that they're going to be working with tutors from Central St Martin's. Now, every fashion student or aspiring fashion student knows Central St Martin's is the bee's knees of fashion. Everybody wants to go to Central St Martin's. So I was like, oh my gosh, no way. Like, it's for my age group. It was like, it kind of had my name on basically. And I was like, and so I called them and they was like, I'm sorry, the applications are closed. I think they closed last week. And I'm like, no, I can't take no for an answer in this situation. So I spoke to my sister and I said, can you come down there with me? So literally on the day that it started, I went down there. I spoke to the lady. I said, I've literally travelled from Reading. I will really give this summer school my all. Can I please just have a space on it? And she said, because of your motivation and your determination for coming all this way, you're in the summer school.
It's so amazing.
So yeah, that I think was a great decision for me, to just know if you just give it your all, you will open doors. So yeah.
Well, today you sit in front of me in your own branded T-shirt. I've noticed, by the way. And I haven't seen the bag as well, with the words Trimingham on there. So tell me about birthing your brand.
When I was at university in my first year, I was doing velvet stuff, and I was under the name Threads by Cherise, because all my friends used to call me Cherise. So I would be making pieces under the name Threads by Cherise. And I remember there was this boy in my university class, and he sat me down one day and he's like, you have the talent to really take this somewhere else. And I always knew deep down in my mind that I wanted to have a luxury brand, but I just wasn't really sure about how to go about it and when I was gonna officially start that. That's why I was just kind of making the pieces for the locals, the friends and family. And then after that, he was like, you need to get proper branding, just have a rebrand of Threads by Cherise, make it more official. So that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna have it as my name, because I know anything that carries my name, I'm gonna take a lot more serious, and I'm gonna know I'm only gonna want to bring out great pieces.
So come on then, what is the kind of Trimingham signature style then? What are you doing?
Okay, so Trimingham, we specialise in bespoke pieces. So bespoke pieces are one-of-one pieces. So we might have a client that says, I have an event coming up, or a lot of the time we work with musicians and music artists. We have worked with boxers in the past as well. So if they have a fight or a music video coming up, they might be like, this is the kind of idea I want to go for. What can you make? So then we'll show them fabric samples and then start doing designs.
What you've done there is very delicately not name dropped, but I want you to name drop. You mentioned the boxers, didn't you? And the musicians that you've worked with. Who then is wearing your brand?
So we've had a few people wear the brand. So we've had Tion Wayne, so we created him a piece for a music video with another brand called Vologavin. So we've done a collaboration with them. We've had Popcorn wearing the brand for his headline festival, and we really do love Popcorn because he actually reps the brand all the time. Last week he was wearing one of our t-shirts. He wore one of our signature reflective t-shirts in his most recent music video called Elevate. He wore that this year. We've made garments for Meek Mill, so we made him a bespoke puffer jacket last year.
How are you getting your these amazing people to wear your brand? How does it work?
I feel like they're all unique and different stories. So, for example, with the Popcorn situation, it was my stylist. She rang me one day and she was just asking for advice on how to potentially stitch a plastic suit kind of thing. And obviously, where I was like, if it's plastic, thick plastic, it's going to be virtually really hard or impossible kind of thing. So I wouldn't be able to do that. But then obviously we started talking about my pieces and my collection. And at the time I had made this reflective puffer spacesuit. And because she wanted a kind of Superman kind of theme for his headline tour festival in Jamaica. So we was just talking about that, and she's like, oh, let me have a look at that, let me see a picture of it. And she's like, you know what, this looks really cool, this could potentially work. So then from there she sent it to his manager was like, yeah, I like this, let me send it to Popcorn's like, yeah, I like this, I want to wear this. So that's kind of how the relationship with Popcorn started forming. That's how that happened. People like Sneak Bow, their stylists usually reach out to me. So Sneak Bow's stylist would reach out to me. Rick Ross's story was quite interesting actually, I think, because Rick Ross was probably the first big artist that kind of showed love to the brand. And that's when I was living in Milan, and my friend, she was PR for one of the biggest clubs in Milan, and she's like, oh, Rick Ross is coming. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to go anyway, because I'm a fan of Rick Ross.
We want to hear the tunes.
exactly I'm a fan of Rick Ross. Ross regardless, so I want to go and watch his performance. But then I was like, I actually want to give him something, and she was like, yeah, right, like, come on. So like, I took the t-shirt with me, and I was just holding it in my hand, and I was like, I'm gonna get this t-shirt over to Rick Ross. And obviously, bearing in mind I had no experience with working with any celebrities at this time. I was just like a young student living in Milan, shooting my shot pretty much. So basically I was like, okay, let me just have a drink and get merry. And like, so then we're enjoying the club, and then he comes on, he starts performing. So I just kind of worm my way to the front, and then I'm showing him the piece and his security guard, and his security guard was like, what is that kind of thing? So I was like, it's a t-shirt for Rick Ross. I'm kind of like pointing. So then he gave it to Rick Ross's friend or associate that was there. So she was like, oh, thank you. So I was like, oh, can you hold it up for me, kind of thing, so I can get some content. So she held it up, and I was like, oh my gosh, no way, like my brand is right next to Rick Ross. Like this is phenomenal right now. Like, I've actually done it. And then from there, it just even got better, because Rick Ross obviously acknowledged that I gave him a gift, and he was like really friendly now. So he's like giving me like drinks and cheersing me, and like I'm rapping along to the songs with him at the front. And it was like, it was just a really great experience. And like, I think from that, it kind of made me realize that nobody is impossible to like have associated with the brand. So then, yeah, it just kind of got easier from there, I would say.
Is there anyone now then that you would like to actually wear your brand? Who's on the hit list for you?
I feel like I need to make a custom piece for Drake, definitely. I think Drake is definitely on the list of like the pinnacle. So it's kind of like, yeah, definitely Drake.
Anyone who can hook us up or is listening, Cherise would really love to hear from you. That's what we're
Definitely.
saying. Now, ahead of all of this, then, you are giving people an opportunity to really come and see some of these the things you're making yourself, and you've got a pop-up shop happening shortly.
Yeah, so on Saturday the 16th of July at the Veeno bar in Reading, close to the station, we're going to be having a pop-up from 5 till 8 p.m. So we're going to be launching our new collection. So everybody that would like to come and have a look at the brand is more than welcome to come down. And then after that, from 8:15, we're going to be having a fashion show. So tickets are available on our website, trimingham.store, or you can purchase tickets on Eventbrite as well.
In the meantime, then, how do we stay connected with you?
So if you follow me on Instagram, Trimingham, so that's TRIMINGHAM_, you'll find me on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook.
Bridgitte Tetteh.
Bridgitte Tetteh.
On BBC Local Radio.
What an inspiring young woman. Cherise Trimingham, young fashion designer, got that fashion show in Reading next month. She talked a lot, didn't she, about Popcan being a huge fan of her clothing. So I thought we'd get on some Popcan alongside Jorah Smith here on BBC Radio Berkshire.